Johor. Johor is a Malaysian state, located in the southern portion of Peninsular Malaysia. It is one of the most developed states in Malaysia. The state capital city of Johor is Johor Bahru. The royal city of the state is Muar and the old state capital is Johor Lama. Johor is surrounded by Pahang to the north, Malacca and Negeri Sembilan to the northwest, and the Straits of Johor to the south, which separates Johor and the Republic of Singapore. The state also shares a maritime border with the Rai Archipelago from the eastern Rai mainland on the west by the South China Sea and the Strait of Malacca respectively, both of Indonesian territories. Johor is also known by its Arabic honorific Darul Tazim, or abode of dignity, and as Johor in English. Etymology. The name Johor originated from the Persian word jor, gem, jewel. Malays tend to name a place after natural objects in great abundance or having visual dominance. Before the name Johor was adopted, the area south of the Muar River to Singapore Island was known as Ujung Tanah or Land's End in Malay, due to its location at the end of the Malay Peninsula. Coincidentally, Johor is the most southern point of the Asian continental mainland. History. In the early 16th century, the Sultanate of Johor was founded by the Alauddin Riyad Shah II, the son of Mahmud Shah, the last Sultan of Malacca who fled from the invading Portuguese in Malacca. Johor Sultanate was one of the two successor states of the Malacca Empire. On Malacca's defeat by the Portuguese in 1511, Alauddin Riyad Shah II established a monarchy in Johor, which posed the threat to the Portuguese. The Sultanate of Perak, established by Mahmud Shah's other son, Muzaffar Shah I, was the other successor state of Malacca. During Johor's peak, the whole of Pahang, present-day Indonesian territories of the Rai Archipelago, and part of Sumatra Island was under Johor's rule. A series of succession struggles were interspersed with strategic alliances struck with regional clans and foreign powers, which maintained Johor's political and economic hold in the Straits, in competition with the Acehnese of northern Sumatra and the Port Kingdom of Malacca under Portuguese rule. Johor engaged in prolonged warfare with the rivals, often striking alliances with friendly Malay states and with the Dutch. In 1641, Johor, in cooperation with the Dutch, succeeded in capturing Malacca. By 1660, Johor had become a flourishing entrepot, although weakening and splintering of the empire in the late 17th and 18th century reduced its sovereignty. In the 18th century, the Bugis of Sulawesi and the Minangkabau of Sumatra controlled the political powers in the Johor Rai Empire. However, in the early 19th century, Malay and Bugis rivalry commanded the scene. In 1819, the Johor Rai Empire was divided up into the mainland Johor, controlled by the Temenggung, and the Sultanate of Rai Lingga, controlled by the Bugis. In 1855, under the terms of a treaty between the British in Singapore and Sultan Ali of Johor, control of the state was formally ceded to Dato' Temenggung Daring Ibrahim, with the exception of the Kesang area, which was handed over in 1877. Temenggung Ibrahim opened up Bandar Tanjung Puteri in South Johor as a major town. Temenggung Ibrahim was succeeded by his son, Dato' Temenggung Abu Bakar, who later took the title Seri Maharaja Johor by Queen Victoria of England. In 1886, he was formally crowned the Sultan of Johor. Sultan Abu Bakar of Johor implemented a state constitution, developed a British-style administration and constructed the Istana Besar, the official residence of the Sultan. For his achievements, Sultan Abu Bakr is known by the title "Father of Modern Johor." The increased demand for black pepper and gambia in the 19th century led to the opening up of farmlands to the influx of Chinese immigrants, which created Johor's initial economic base. The Kangchu system was put in place with the first settlement of Kangkut Tebrau established in 1844. The decline of the Kangchu economy at the end of the 19th century coincided with the opening of the railway line connecting Johor Bahru and the Federated Malay States in 1909 and the emergence of rubber plantations throughout the state. Under the British resident system, Sultan Ibrahim, Sultan Abu Bakr's successor, was forced to accept a British advisor in 1904. D.G. Campbell was dispatched as the first British advisor to Johor. For the 1910s to the 1940s, Johor emerged as Malaysia's top rubber-producing state, a position it has held until recently. Johor was also until recently the largest oil palm producer in Malaysia. During World War II, Johor Bahru became the last city on the Malay Peninsula to fall to the Japanese. Allied forces, Australian, Malayan and Indian forces held out for 4 days in what was known as the Battle of Gemas. The General Yamashita Tomoyuki had his headquarters on top of Bukit Serene and coordinated the downfall of Singapore. Johor gave birth to the Malay opposition that derailed the Malayan Union Plan. Malays under Dato' Onn Jufar's leadership formed the United Malays National Organization in Johor on the 11th of May 1946. In 1948, Johor joined the Federation of Malaya, which gained independence in 1957. Population and demographics. Johor is Malaysia's second most populous state with the nation's third largest conurbation, the Iskandar Malaysia. Johor's geographical position in the southern of Peninsular Malaysia contributed to the state's rapid development as Malaysia's transportation and industrial hub. This creates jobs and attracted migrants from other states as well as overseas, especially from Indonesia, the Philippines, Vietnam, Myanmar, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan and China. In recent decades, the influx of illegal immigrants, particularly from Indonesia, has further contributed to Johor's population. Subdivisions of Johor. Johor has the second largest population in Malaysia at 3,230,440 as of 2010, which increased to 3,553,600 in 2015. The state's ethnic composition consists of Malay 54.1%, Chinese 30.9%, Indian 6.5%, other ethnic groups 0.4% and non-citizens 8.1%. Language. The Johorian Malay, also known as Johori Malay and originally spoken in Johore, Malacca, Selangor and Singapore, has been adopted as the basis for both the Malaysian and Indonesian national languages, Malaysian and Indonesian, respectively. Due to Johor's location at the confluence of trade routes within maritime Southeast Asia, as well as the former economic might and influence of Malacca and Johor, the dialect spread as the region's lingua franca since the 15th century, hence the adoption of the dialect as the basis for the national languages of Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia and Singapore. Several related languages are also spoken in the state such as Orang Seletar, Orang Kanak, Jakun, Temuan and Orang Kuala. Terengganu Malay, a distinct variant of Malay spoken in the district of Mersing near the border with Rompan, Pahang. Religion. As of 2014 census, the population of Johor is 51.9% Muslim, 31.5% Buddhist, 3.9% Hindus, 9.7% Christian, 1.9% Taoist, a Chinese religion adherent, 1.4% follower of other religions, and 0.2% non-religious. Geography. Johor is the fifth largest state by land area and second most populous state in Malaysia, with a total land area of 19,210 square kilometers, and a population of 3,233,434 as of 2010. It is the southernmost state in Peninsular Malaysia and is located between the 1°20' N and 2°35' N latitudes. The highest point in Johor is Gunung Ledang. Gunung Ledang is also known as Mount Ophir. Johor also has a 400 km coastline on both the east and the west coasts. Johor has 8 large islands with numerous smaller ones, namely Pulau Muar, Pulau Besar, Pulau Dayang, Pulau Lima, Pulau Pemanggul, Pulau Rawa, Pulau Sibu, Pulau Tenggar and Pulau Dinggi. Climate. Johor has a tropical rainforest climate with monsoon rain from November until February blowing from the South China Sea. The average annual rainfall is 1,778 mm with average temperatures ranging between 25.5 degrees Celsius and 27.8 degrees Celsius. Humidity is between 82 and 86%. On the 19th of December 2006, a continuous heavy downpour occurred in Johor, which led to the 2006-2007 Malaysian floods. Many towns such as Muar, Kota Tinggi and Segamat were seriously flooded, with water levels as high as 10 feet above ground level recorded in some areas. 15 lives were lost and many possessions destroyed, and this resulted in huge financial losses in Johor. More than 100,000 victims were evacuated to flood relief centers. Links to Singapore. Johor is linked to Singapore via 2 road connections, the Johor-Singapore Causeway and the Malaysia-Singapore Second Link. The causeway also carries a railway line, which is now part of the main rail route linking Singapore with Thailand via Kuala Lumpur, Ipoh and Butawa. The Johor-Singapore Causeway was designed by Messrs. Coode, Fismarus, Wilson and Mitchell of Westminster, while the construction contract was awarded to Topham, Jones and Amp, Railton Limited of London. Construction of the causeway started in 1919 and was completed in 1923. It was preceded by a railway ferry link in 1903, which connected Johor to Singapore, then the administrative headquarters of British interests in Southeast Asia. In 1909, this ferry link connected with the Johor State Railway, which opened that year between Johor Bahru and Gemas, providing a direct rail route with the rest of the Federated Malay States. Prior to 1909, travelers between Singapore and the Federated Malay States had to travel by sea between Singapore and Port Dickson. The causeway has been a source of contention ever since Singapore seceded from Malaysia in 1965. Stagnating water caused by the causeway has raised health concerns in Johor. Malaysia proposed to replace the causeway with a bridge, allowing water, tide movement and ship movement from Pasir Gudang, the older port in Johor, to the new port in Jeling Patah through the Straits of Johor. Singapore rejected this proposal, after which Malaysia came up with the idea of what became known as the Crooked Half Bridge, 25 meters above water level, and descending halfway to link up with the low-level causeway. The railway was to have a swing bridge. The scheme was part of the Gerbang Selatan Bersepadu project. It had been previously announced that the bridge project would go ahead, even without the agreement of the Singaporean government. The bridge would become a straight bridge if the Singaporean government accepted the project. Construction work on the bridge stopped, however, on the orders of the former Prime Minister Abdullah Ahmad Badawi, who cited the unwillingness of Malaysia to sell sand and allow the use of Malaysian airspace by Singapore as a return for Singaporean consent to the bridge's construction. Animosity between previous leaders of both countries has abated with the rise of new leaders. Abdullah Badawi as Malaysian Prime Minister replacing Mahathir Mohamad and Lee Hsien Loong in Singapore replacing Goh Chok Tong. It has renewed talks and improved relations between countries. Some analysts have concluded that replacing the causeway with the bridge would allow a creation of a comprehensive port system linking Johor Port and Tanjung Pelepas Port in Johor. Some go on to suggest that this presents a threat to Singapore's port activity, thus explaining the initial reluctance of Singapore to agree to the causeway's replacement. The second road connection, the Malaysia-Singapore Second Link, was completed in October 1997. The link consists of a 1,920 meters twin-deck bridge supporting a dual three-lane carriageway linking Kampong Ladang in Tanjung Kupang, Johor, to Jalan Ahmad Ibrahim in Tuas, Singapore. Government and politics. Monarchy. Johor is a constitutional monarchy. Johor was the first state in Malaysia to adopt the constitutional monarchy system via Undang-Undang Tubuh Negeri Johor written by Sultan Abu Bakar. The constitutional head of Johor is the Sultan. This hereditary position can only be held by a member of the Johor royal family, who is descended from Sultan Abu Bakar. Until 2010, the state's sultan since 1981 had been Sultan Iskandar al-Hajj. He died the 22nd of January 2010. Tunku Ibrahim Ismail Ibn al-Marhum Sultan Iskandar was proclaimed as the new Sultan of Johor on the 23rd of January 2010. Johor was the first state and currently the only state in Malaysia that has its own military force called the Royal Johor Military Force or Timbalan Setia Negeri. It is a private army of the Sultan of Johor located at Johor Bahru City. State government. The state government is headed by a chief minister. The current chief minister is Dato Muhammad Khalid Nordin of United Malays National Organisation. The chief minister is assisted by 10 members executive council, whose members are selected from the state assembly members. The legislative branch of Johor's government is the Johor State Legislative Assembly. The State Assembly makes laws in matters regarding the state. Members of the Assembly are elected by citizens every 5 years by universal suffrage. Districts. Johor is divided into 10 districts of Johor Bahru 1817.8 square kilometers, population 1,386,569, Majlis Bandara Johor Bahru, Majlis Perbandaran Johor Bahru Tengah, Majlis Perbandaran Pasir Gudang, Gulai 753.45 square kilometers, population 251,650, Majlis Perbandaran Kulai, Portion 919.5 square kilometers, population 155,541, Majlis-Daerah Portion, Kota Tinggi 3,488.7 square kilometers, population 193,210, Majlis-Daerah Kota Tinggi, Kluang 2,851.8 square kilometers, population 298,332, Majlis Perbandaran Kluang. Majlis-Daerah Simpang Ringgam includes Simpang Ringgam and most of the southern part of Kluang district. Sagama 2,851.26 square kilometers, population 189,820, Majlis-Daerah Sagamat, Majlis-Daerah Labis Muar 2346.12 square kilometers, population 247,957 Majlis Perbandaran Muar, Tangkak 970.24 square kilometers, population 136,852 Majlis Daerah Tangkak, Batu Patat 1,878 square kilometers, population 417,458 Majlis Perbandaran Batu Patat, Majlis Daerah Yongpeng, Mersing 2,838.6 square kilometers, population 70,894 Majlis Daerah Mersing. Economy: Iskandar Malaysia. The Iskandar, Johor, encompassing Johor Bahru, Tengah, Kolai, Pasir Gudang, Iskandar Puteri, which is a major development zone in Johor with an area of 2,215 square kilometers and portion. It was named after the late Sultan Iskandar al-Hajj. It is intended to draw investment and business to Johor and will be among the biggest development projects in Malaysia. The state administrative capital will move to Iskandar Puteri. Residential areas include Bukit Indah and Horizon Hills townships. Education: Johor has several institutions of higher learning. It has 3 universities, namely University Teknologi Malaysia situated in Skudai, University Tun Husainon Malaysia in Parit Raja, Batu Patat, University Teknologi Muar Johor in Segamat and UITM City Campus in Johor Bahru, and several polytechnics, as an example Polytechnic Ibrahim Sultan, and Polytechnic Mersing Johor. Johor also has 2 teaching colleges called IPG Campus Temenggung Ibrahim in Johor Bahru and IPG Campus Tun Husainon in Batu Patat. It has 1 non-profit community college called Southern University College situated in Skudai. Southern College was established in 1990 owing to the generous support from the communities. It is the first non-profit community college in the country wholly funded by public donation and is open to Malaysian students of all races. Johor Education Foundation also established tertiary education opportunity in Johor State. It offers studies from various fields such as engineering, business, economics and hospitality for all Malaysian as well as qualified students from anywhere around the world. The English College Johor Bahru, also known as Maktab Sultan Abu Bakar, abbreviated as English College (ECMSAB), the college, and sometimes dubbed the Pride of Johor, is among old premier school in Malaysia. At the primary level, Muslim Johorean students are required to attend Islamic religious school in addition to national school. Many Malay Johoreans have competent skills in Jawi script, the official script in Johor since 1885, which is still used in Islamic religious and Malay cultural matters. As of the 30th of June 2008, there are 243 secondary schools in Johor educating 277,059 students. The total number of teachers in Johor at the time was 18,212, which provided a teacher-student ratio of 15.21. Public universities, private universities and university colleges, hospitals. There are public hospitals and private hospitals in Johor. Public hospitals: Hospital Sultanah Amina, Johor Bahru; Hospital Sultanah Fatimah, Muar; Hospital Sultanah Nora Ismail, Batu Patat; Hospital Lench Besar Hajar Kalsum, Tuang; Hospital Segamat; Hospital Porshan; Hospital Kota Tinggi; Hospital Mersing; Hospital Tangkak; Hospital Temenggung Seri Maharaja Tun Ibrahim, Kolai; Hospital Pamay; Hospital Sultan Ismail. Private hospitals: Hospital Panawar; Hospital Parker Johor, Johor Bahru; Pantai Hospital Batu Pahat, Putra Specialist Hospital Batu Pahat, KPJ Specialist Hospital MUAR, Hospital Parker Abdul Samad, Columbia Asia, Gleneagles. Transportation hubs. Ports. Johor has 3 ports: the Pasir Gudang Port, the Port of Tanjung Pelepas, and the Tanjung Langsat Port. Airports. Johor has 1 international airport, the Senai International Airport in Senai. It was opened on 6 June 1974 and has been expanded several times since. Currently, it has a 5 million passenger capacity, with a parallel taxiway under construction. The airport is a regional hub of AirAsia Group, a regional low-cost no-frills airline. Malaysia Airlines and Firefly also operate flights from Senai International Airport to similar local destinations. Media. Television in Johor consists of 7 free-to-air stations. The TV stations are transmitted from Gunung Ledang, Johor, Gunung Pulai, Johor, and Bukit Tinggi, Johor. 3 of the 7 free-to-air stations are managed by Radio Televisión Malaysia, a federal government-owned media company headquartered in Kuala Lumpur, while the 4 commercial stations are owned by Media Prima, an integrated media company headquartered in Bandar Utama, Selangor. In addition, Singapore TV channels transmitted from Bukit Batok, like MediaCorp Channel 5, MediaCorp Channel 8, MediaCorp Surya, MediaCorp Vasantham, MediaCorp Channel U, Octo, and Channel News Asia can be received in Central and South Johor. TV Al Hijrah, 8 TV Sport 24. Cable television Abingses. Satellite television Astro. Radio stations in Johor are available in the FM frequency and transmitted from Gunung Ledang, Johor, Gunung Pulai, Johor, and Bukit Tinggi, Johor. Singapore radio stations like 883 JIFM, BBC World Service, RIA 89.7 FM, Gold 90.5 FM, Hot FM 91.3, Radio 91.3, Kiss 92 FM, Symphony 92.4 FM, YES 93.3 FM, 93HLIVE, Warner 94.2 FM, Class 95 FM, Capital 95.8 FM, XFM 96.3, Ollie 96.8 FM, Love 97.2 FM, Power 98 FM, 987 FM, Lush 99.5 FM, and UFM 1003 can be received in Central and South Johor. Newspapers. Mainstream newspapers in Johor are Berita Harian, Utusan Malaysia, Cosmo, Harian Metro, Sinar Harian, New Straits Times, The Star, The Malay Mail, The Sun, Nanyang Siang Pao, Sinchu-Jit Po, China Press, Malaysia Unbun, Tamil Nezan, Makul Ozai, Haraka. This newspaper is owned by the Pan-Malaysian Islamic Party, one of the major party in the Pakatan Rakyat opposition in Johor. Suara Keadilan. This newspaper is owned by People's Justice Party, another major party in the Pakatan Rakyat opposition in Johor. Tourism. Major tourist attractions. Among the popular tourist destinations in Johor are Sultan Abu Bakar State Mosque, constructed between 1892 and 1900, Tebrau Arul Migu Sri Raja Kaliaman Glass Temple, the world's first Hindu glass temple, Desaru, beaches and AMP golf courses along the South China Sea. Johor Bahru, shopping, night market, colonial, royal district, Kota Tinggi 34-meter waterfall. Kukab, a fishing village with seafood restaurants built over water. Muar, picturesque riverside town. Seribuat archipelago, islands with beautiful beaches, coral reefs. Tanjung Piai at the southernmost tip of mainland Asia. Danga Bay, waterfront city. Pekan Air Panas, hot springs, waterfall, local fruits available. Kota Iskandar, administration center of Johor government. Pulau Dayang, major diving attraction, snorkeling, fishing. Mount Ophir, legendary mountain, highest peak in south of Peninsular Malaysia, famous of mountain hiking. Air Panas waterfall, Malaysian Juzaiku, with crystal clear water from the peak of Gunung Ledang. Tangkak, hometown of famous Tangkak beef noodle, shopping paradise for fabric, served best handmade noodle in the world. Pulau Kukus, this island is close to Pulau Sibu Tenggar and popular for snorkeling activity. Tampoi Muniswaran Hindu temple during Thaipusam. International theme parks. Legoland Malaysia, the first of its kind theme park in Asia and the first international theme park in Malaysia. Hello Kitty Town, Angry Bird theme park. National parks and forest reserves. Johor is also noted for its national parks. Johor currently has 5 national parks with a combined area of more than 700 square kilometers and several smaller recreational forests. Almost all recreational parks are based around a mountain. Johor also has the 3rd largest mangrove forest reserve in Peninsular Malaysia. Tanjung Piai National Park, a natural wonderland at the southernmost tip of Asia, and Rompan National Park, the 2nd national park in Malaysia after Taman Negara. It covers an area of approximately 80,000 hectares. Pulau Kukup Johor National Park, one of the largest uninhabited mangroves in the world. Pulau Kukup has been granted the status of a wetland of international importance by the Geneva-based Ramsar Convention Bureau. Islands and beaches. Pulau Sibu, a pleasant hideaway with its lush tropical vegetation, endless stretches of golden beaches and clear blue waters. Pulau Rawa, 16 kilometers off the coast of Mersing, the island is famed for its white coral sand, tall palm trees and coral reefs with neon-colored fish and other exotic marine life. Desaru Beach, among the best beaches in Johor. The beach is clean, lined with caswariana trees and stretch 25 kilometers long. Pulau Muar, rated among the best diving destinations within the Johor Marine Park area.